Well then, Bonnie, what do you think?
Think of what? This looks more like a normal shop to me.
I must have sold at least 50 pumpkins here so far. Only one left to sell.
That explains it. Hey, have you noticed that pumpkin doesn't seem to be behaving normally?
Nope, looks fine to me. I think the true spirit of Halloween is starting to get to you. Just like this. Boo.
Happy Halloween, host. It's the time of the year again to steal candy from the kids.
Actually, Rick, that is actually the other way around. Don't know how you were brought up, but that is wrong. Haha.
Shush you. In order to scare all of you, I have decided to bring this old scary guy who is obsessed with waffles in the first series.
I must warn you, Rick, that if you scare me too much I will have to arrest you for frightening a police officer. Be warned.
Ha, that's another way of scaring someone, Barry. Nice one.
Yeah, right. Anyway, it would be good to all tell a Halloween story to share. What do you all think?
Only if you go first, Rick.
Okay, let's do this. So here's my story. There was a couple in Scotland who had just moved into an old castle. It wasn't long before they decided to empty out the wine cellar. They found a large barrel of brandy. They tried moving it and even got a few friends to help, but they couldn't budge it. In the end, they decided to have a housewarming party and give glasses of brandy out to empty the barrel and make it easier to move. The husband got his saw in order to cut it into smaller pieces, and they cut off the top of the barrel. Inside was a dead body, and they had drank the brandy that had preserved it.
Okay, as a police officer I would like to into investigation with this matter. If we can cut to Sonic and Bonnie at the shop for a moment. Thank you.
Okay, Sonic, there is definitely something going on with that pumpkin. I think that's why no one's buying it. Look at it. It's gone purple. Sonic, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, don't worry, just getting some exercise while you constantly get scared by the so-called purple pumpkin.
If you don't listen to me, it's going to eat you.
Okay. Are you two guys done now?
Thank you for your cooperation. Here's £500. Now, host, I believe it's time for your story.
Okie dokie, here goes. It was just a regular library, but when night strikes, it becomes alive and extremely spooky. 3 girls came for research and stayed overtime. When midnight approached, the girls had no intention of researching anymore because they soon discovered that there was no exit. The book started screaming loudly and the girls were petrified. When they turned around, the 3rd girl was hung from a tree and we saw the blood streaming down her head. It was too scary to watch. We soon split up to find an exit, but when I turned to show my friend that the book was alive, I saw her dead with a stab back. I was the only survivor and it was only a matter of time before they would kill me. I quickly turned around and I saw. Here's a lesson: never study at night.
Okay, your stories are good, but mine will beat them. Here goes. On Halloween in 2003, my family and I went into the city. Because my mom had bought a car and she needed to make a car payment to the dealer, we decided to take my little sister and her friend trick-or-treating up there. My mom made her payment and my sister and her friend were trick-or-treating. It was getting late, so we decided that was enough. We ate at a fast food burger joint and began a long drive home. When we were on the freeway, a car was driving right next to us and the driver was wearing a mask, staring right at us. Everybody started to get scared. He was keeping up with us and had his head turned sideways, staring for about 10 minutes. Then he looked ahead and drove past.
You know, I'm actually surprised as to the quality of these stories in this Halloween episode. It's surprising how grim your lives really are. Oh, and mine with the library story.
Halloween sure is flying past us now with these stories. I sure hope Sonic has managed to sell all the pumpkins in this shop.
I bet you £50 that he hasn't sold them all.
Wow, God almighty, that thing has grown.
Finally. He gets it. Now get away from the pumpkin now while you still can.
I was talking about the plant behind you. It's grown an awful lot. That's kinda spooky.
For fuck's sake.
Officer Barry.
Yes, host, what is the problem?
You still haven't said your horror story of the year yet.
Well,
Come on Barry, we've scared you tonight, so try and get some payback by scaring us back. After all, it is Halloween.
okay, alright, if it will shut you up. Here we go. Everybody sitting comfortably. Good, then I will begin. Although this is no kid's story.
Just get on with it.
Here's one I heard on the radio from a woman who told her story about seeing a ghost, which is scary. A few years ago, the woman and her family had just moved to a new house somewhere in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. One night, her baby son was crying, so she got out of bed and went to see him. Suddenly, the baby stopped crying. The woman knew that he must have fallen asleep, so she went back to bed. A few hours later, the baby cried again, so she got up and went over to check again. As she opened the door to her son's room, she saw a boy, about 6 or 7 years old, calming the baby down. When he saw the woman, he disappeared. The woman was shocked. She later told her neighbors what happened. The neighbors already knew about the ghost and told her that there was a boy who died from an illness about 80 years ago and was buried under the exact place where her baby son's room is.
I bet you didn't really hear that story on the radio. Let me guess, you were the person called to deal with the mystery, weren't you?
Maybe.
Well, I think on a bombshell like this, I think we have scared the audience enough this Halloween. I hope you all have nightmares.
I certainly will. I might need a waffle in the morning.
Oh, don't even go there, old guy from the first series. That library story will get the better of me tonight. Mainly because my wife is now a librarian. So I will die tonight.
Rick's dying. But it's not even Christmas yet.
Good night, Anne.